and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans! Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top sports stories going on in the world today. I am your host, Eric, main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay, and it looks like I'm going to be flying blind tonight because I can't see the chat.
All right, I'll let you know if anything comes up on the chat. Hopefully, you don't crash in any, obstructions. I mean, if you're flying blind, not a good thing. Big Bryce, the B-Man's in the house tonight. Hey, we're back, baby. All right. Thank you, Bryce, for joining us tonight. Again, we are Sports Unfolded. We are live. We are fan interactive. So if you are joining us on any of our social media platforms, join the chat. Let us know if you have any opinions or anything you want to talk about, or even something that maybe we're not talking about that you have some interest in. Danny's back. Danny, the Dodge is back. Thank you again for joining us as well tonight. We, again, are going to cover all of the top sports stories going on. We'd like to thank all of our fans in Dallas, Georgia, WDJY 99.1 FM for being able to have them hear us every Saturday night at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, Public Access Channel 12. In Southeast Connecticut. We love it. Santa Monica, California, Danny. Wow. Okay. Yeah. 3-hour difference there. That's awesome. That's really cool. Danny's in California. So, Ron, we are about to kick off our show. He says, hi, Ron, by the way.
Oh, Hi, hello. I can't see it. So, but I do see that we have a bunch of people watching live already.
Yes.
So that is good news.
Really cool. So again, if you'd like to talk about anything, let us know as we go through our chats tonight. Love to hear from you. And again, have some fun. Yeah, have some fun with the show. Let us know. All right, Ron. I guess it's time to get this thing started, man. This is a different leadoff story for us than in the usual. But how many times did you think you'd say this again? Mike Tyson and Jake Paul will square off tonight. Should we really be excited about this fight?
I think we should be. Look, this is like a scene out of Rocky Balboa. When he comes back and he gets in the ring, still has some stuff burning in there.
Not a very good impression.
Kind of like that, but you look at Mike Tyson, he looks pretty good.
He looks phenomenal, but I would say
he looks good.
I don't know if this is more hype than it is actual, excitement. I think we're living in the past. We're thinking of Mike Tyson, the 19-year-old kid that came out and then was just a complete animal.
Right.
He's 58 years old now.
He doesn't seem like an animal anymore.
Yeah, right?
He's very tame. He's a funny guy, actually. I think he's amusing. I actually kind of like him. He's got a likability now. Now, can he turn the switch and become that Iron Mike that we knew and that was just unhinged?
And that's where my fear is. Again, we grew up in the era when Mike Tyson was like the baddest man on the planet. Like there was,
it was absolutely
right. And I'm afraid that what we're gonna see tonight is a shell of that. Think about it. He hasn't fought in almost. James, thanks for joining as well. Think about he hasn't fought in over 20 years, and even at the end of his professional career. James seems to think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if Tyson still has it. 58, you're talking stamina. You're talking about somebody, Jake Paul, who's actually been fighting at least for the last few years.
Who's he fighting? I mean, come on. I mean,
it's
boxing hasn't been the same, especially the heavyweights, in I don't know how long. It's been a while since there was really any relevancy.
But I think that's why we're so excited, because we're like, oh, Mike Tyson. It's a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. It is not the
Yeah.
same man. He is not. Yes, he looks good. Yes, on film, like we've seen the workouts, we see his body. He looks fit. But I don't know. Think about this. Mike Tyson was in the video game Punch-Out. Yes, it was 1986. 1986, James. Right? He's at the peak of his career. Mike Tyson Punch-Out. But you start to sit back and you go, I mean, even when we thought he was okay, the prison stint comes back, was never the same boxer. Was not the Mike Tyson that went in, after prison. And now we're sitting back and we're like, holy cow, it's Mike Tyson. Everybody, oh, he's going to kill him. He's going to knock him out. I don't know if he can.
But you know what should be worrisome? I think he can knock him out. And I think that slap was a test for him.
Jake Paul took it, though.
He took it, but it was a slap. The fact of the matter is, Mike Tyson now knows he's fast enough to hit him in the jaw. And because if he wasn't, he would have been able to stop that. Especially how Jake Paul was standing with his left foot forward, easily should have been able to block that if he's such a great fighter. But he did not, and he should be worried. Yes, it might not have hurt him, but a punch may.
So a lot of rules in this thing, 2-minute rounds, the bigger boxing gloves. So again, the power and the strength may not be as physical as it would be if the gloves were smaller, because then you'd feel it more. Listen, Mike Tyson, again, muscle memory. It may all come back. One good shot, yes. But I also fear that, again, is he that same? Does he still have, like, even his press conferences the last couple of days have been really strange. People, his kids don't respect him. Nobody cares about him. He's trying to create some kind of memory.
Creating anger.
Yeah, but it's like weird. It's like all odd stuff. Like, be mad at Jake Paul. Be mad
I look at it this way. How old was Foreman when he came back?
38? 38, 40 tops. I think he stopped from boxing, I think, at 46.
Okay.
You're talking 12 more years.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what's the difference in the body of both of them? Mike Tyson certainly looks a lot stronger and toned than what Foreman did. Foreman still had the power. I think Mike Tyson still has that power, and one punch could be the difference.
Yeah, I just don't agree. I think we're all getting hyped about something that's going to be a major disappointment.
Whole thing, right? You gotta
it's all about money. It's money, bro. They're gonna
it is.
Push this thing. 58-year-old Mike, baddest man. They're still saying it, baddest man on the planet. Dude, listen. He's not fighting. First of all, if you put him in the ring with a professional boxer right now, he's getting his ass kicked. I don't, because 20 years ago it was happening. He wasn't the same fighter anymore. So I don't know. Yes, Jake Paul fought nobodies, but Jake Paul at 30 years old has fought the last couple years. He's still physically more into the game than Mike Tyson is. Mike Tyson had to shred everything and get fit again and do all this. There was a point where Mike Tyson didn't look like Mike Tyson. Go watch the movie Hangover. Where, that scene, he was a big man. Like, he put on a lot of weight. He likes to, smoke the trees there. So I'm kind of curious to say, is he may come into this thing and just say, look, I'm getting $20 million. $20 million is a good chunk of change for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it is.
How's Jake Paul getting 40? Because, again, he's the one drawing the people, not Tyson. As crazy as it sounds.
Tyson's drawing the people?
People want to see Jake Paul get beat. People do not like Jake Paul. He is a cocky, arrogant kid.
That's why I'm saying I think Mike Tyson's bringing in the people. I think he is.
I think the anticipation
But
of what people want to see Mike Tyson do.
right, that's what it is. So when you look at it, Mike Tyson really has nothing to lose. He's supposed to lose. But
Kenny, thanks for joining.
what this does is Mike Tyson comes in, he wants to win. He wants to show everybody that he still is that guy. Now, whether he is or not doesn't matter. But the people are going to see this because of Mike Tyson. Let's be honest with that. It is all because Mike Tyson is fighting him. And that's what the draw is, because people want to see Mike Tyson win.
When the New England Patriots were at their peak, people would watch the Super Bowl because they wanted to see them lose.
Right.
They didn't have a rooting interest on whatever the team was, the Giants, obviously, right? All that stuff. This is why this is attractive, because people don't care about Tyson. They care more about seeing Jake Paul hopefully lose, because they think about what Mike Tyson used to be.
I agree with that, but you got to keep in mind that Mike Tyson is a guy that can do it with a punch. And that's why people are tuning into this, because they know that he has the capability of doing it. Doesn't necessarily mean he will, but
we still got to factor in his age, and nobody's doing that. This isn't Mike Tyson 30. If Mike Tyson was 40 right now, I'd be like, okay, absolutely. You're talking about he's approaching 60.
He is.
Like, this isn't anything. James asked the question, will this break viewing records for a boxing match? I think they were smart to put it on Netflix, right? Like, I think this is going to change the industry, because it's not a pay-per-view. Most people have Netflix as a service. It's kind of smart on their part. And then there's people that don't now that will get Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be logging on tonight.
That guy right there is going to
right after the show.
Right. So this is where I say, I don't know how to feel about this. I want to see the old Mike Tyson, right? Not old as in physically old, the old Mike Tyson. Yeah. What? I don't, man. My dentures came out. No, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to see an older man trying to get that one last glory. And we've seen it in basketball or football, where somebody's hung on to it a little too long. And you say, I really wish that guy had retired a year or two earlier. And that's what I'm afraid of. We're going to see something. And if this kid ends up knocking him out, or Mike Tyson stops the fight because he can't do it, that's the last memory you have of Mike Tyson. Whereas today, we still think he's the baddest man on the planet. Kenny said it. Mike is crazy. Everybody has this image of Mike Tyson. It could all get ruined tonight.
It can. And that's the only thing Mike Tyson has to lose, is that legacy, right? That's what he's putting up. And I think he'll understand that once he steps into the ring and it becomes real, and this is why I compare this to Rocky Balboa in that movie, where he gets in there and he has one more fight because he had stuff in the furnace down there, right? And don't forget, Rocky Balboa did not win that fight. But what he did show is that he was still capable, and it's like winning because of the age and going to the cards when he goes the distance, right? So Kenny makes a point.
Kenny just put on the chat, the way he's talking, he feels sorry for Jake. And I think this is where you got to be careful, because it's talk. And there was a point in his career where he said, I am embarrassing this sport by continuing to box, so I'm getting out, because he wasn't the same. What's changed in 20-something years now? That's my point. Like, people are still remembering what he was.
Taxes have changed
a lot. But
and that's what I'm saying. He needs to pay.
He needs a 20 mil. He needs that 20 mil bad. But again, he steps in the ring and he gets knocked out in the first round. He still gets $20 million.
That's right.
Again, but then do we look at Mike Tyson the same ever again? No. And I'd rather not see that. To me, this is going to end up hurting his legacy. And I know he doesn't care about it, and some people don't But
So, all right. So if it hurts if he loses and embarrasses himself, which
Mhm.
is a possibility on
Yeah.
that spectrum, that is a possibility. But there's also the other end of the spectrum. What happens if he wins?
Yeah. If I was Ron, we could play split decision right now. More likely, Mike Tyson goes the full distance or knocks Jake Paul out, or he loses. And you can't tell me it's at least 50-50.
No. I would look, I don't think Mike Tyson can go the distance. I don't think he can go the distance. He has to knock him out. What? First 5 rounds?
That's all I have to
I think
ask.
he has to knock him out in the first 5
All I have
rounds
to
or he
ask.
loses.
And I know everybody hates Jake Paul, and that's why they're like, "Oh, tight." You lose. Michael Jordan today could not play against some of these NBA kids. Love Michael, by far one of my favorite players of all time in the NBA. Right? I couldn't see him doing the things he did 20 years ago today.
He can
Like I
still beat
just,
some of them.
well, that's a whole other story.
Maybe
But,
half the players.
but you know what
I
I
know he
mean?
could beat Bronny.
Yeah, yeesh. But you know what I'm saying? It's like that's where
Oh,
we
I
get to a
know.
point where
I
we've
know.
got to realize who he is. Before,
Yeah.
like Kenny just said it, Mike's crazy. Mike's saying this, that's great. He's a 58-year-old
Right.
man, and we're
And that's
expecting
why
him
I
to come out and
say
look like he did 30 years ago.
he has to get that punch in early. Because after 5 rounds, he doesn't stand much of a chance.
And again, I know you say it's just a slap, but I would have liked to seen it. It seemed like it stung a little bit, and it didn't. And that scares me too, because again, you're still
Oh,
talking
no.
about.
I like the fact that he got it in.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. We will do our predictions later on in the show. This will be one of our predictions. That's why we're not talking about it. But everybody that's in the chat right now, everybody watching live, are you watching tonight? And what do you think? Is this going to be more about the hype, or is this possibly the end of a career? Or not even a career, a
Or the
legacy.
end of
A
another
legacy,
career.
right? Even Jake Paul, right? Jake Paul loses to a 58-year-old man. That could go the other way. Right. And
Oh,
people are like,
yeah.
yeah, listen, you can't even beat up an old man. So let us
Yep.
know in the chat what you think. Again, I know we got a lot of them out there, so we appreciate all of the live fans tonight joining us. But we're gonna move on, Ron, and talk some NFL.
That was a great
That
subject.
was fun. That is so much fun. Where Harrison Butker, he's placed on IR. Does this affect the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl chances?
I think he'll be back. They're saying that he may be back the last game or by the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know how extent the injury is, but this is going to affect their next few games for sure.
Yeah, Spencer Schrader, off the Jets practice squad is the kicker they picked up. He's 2-2 on the season.
And I'm excited about that because hopefully he brings some of that Jets mojo with him.
Oh, listen, this is where sometimes with you, because you've been that guy too, where kickers are valuable. And you think about the Kansas City Chiefs,
Oh, yes.
bunch of close games. This guy's kicked in playoff games,
Yeah,
Super
they're
Bowls.
going to be missing him.
This is a low-key disastrous if that lasts into January. That's what we're saying. Like, this
Yeah.
could end up costing them because in the playoffs, those games are tight. You're going to need a kicker that can get the job done. Adam Vinatieri with the Patriots, he wasn't on those teams. We may not win, right? The kick in the snow, right? Like, you need those big kicks. This guy's done it for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs' offense, as good as they've been, they're not bond burners. They're not putting up the most points in the league. They're in the
and if you're only winning by one score, you might now lose by a score.
Right? This is big. And
it is very big, especially when you have to go into Buffalo. And let's not forget where Buffalo is. Aren't they 8-2 now all of a sudden?
8-2.
They've beaten a lot of good teams. You don't think Josh Allen has this one circled? He wants this, and he knows it. He needs this. This is a big one because if they go to 9-2, and Kansas City loses one, then they're only a loss
They're a
away from
game back,
getting the number 2 seed.
Yeah. But it didn't work well for them last time. I don't feel. I don't know. The Buffalo Bills sometimes. Like,
I know that.
When we talk about that curse over a franchise,
yeah, but I'm not saying Buffalo rolls on. But what I'm saying is if they get the number 2, they have to play an extra week in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have to play the first week. And anything can happen. You know, they might lose that first week if they don't have Butker there. I mean, it'll be like when you look at the playoff teams for the AFC, and if it ended now, Kansas City, if they took the number 2 seed, they would have to play either Baltimore, Los Angeles, Chargers, or Denver. You don't think Denver has a shot at it?
Denver almost beat them. If they'd have blocked the kick.
They should have beaten them. They should have beaten them.
The NFL script, man, when they write it, they really make sure.
They're as good as WWE.
They are spot on, man, because that was like the guy didn't even block. They show that replay 75 times. You see the kid just basically fall back and just let the guy come in. Like, what are we doing? At least make it a little less obvious, but whatever. But yeah, right. I think this is a big injury. We always talk about quarterbacks. We talk about all those, positional players that honestly make a difference, but the kick is very important, especially to this team.
And that doesn't even count like the kickoffs either. I mean, you're talking about
though. I don't know.
Part of the games that something can go wrong. You know, for all they know, it could be a shank off the foot of this Spencer for hire.
Spencer Schrader.
You know, Schrader could get shredded.
2 for 2 on the season, though. He's 100%, buddy.
Yeah, sure.
Go. He's only kicked in like one game. But anyway, Ron, I'm sure you have some games of interest that the fans out there need to watch this week. I have 5. I'm curious what you have as well.
I loosely have a 6-pack. Very loose.
If that's you have a keg like me. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no 6-pack going on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby. That's why have a 6-pack when you got a keg?
Yeah, I don't really go for the keg kind of thing, you know.
No. You're too high class. Too high class.
I just hang out with Jack.
Hey, your buddy Jack. He's all right. Yeah. There's a captain in all of us, especially this guy. But I will say, Ron, you got 6. I got 5. The obvious one has
Kansas City, Buffalo,
obviously. Right? We just talked about it. We'll move on. What else do you have?
Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
Yes,
big
sir.
game.
Right. Steelers for real. To beat the Commanders last second. We predicted last week. I said they needed to win that game because now it's like Division City. Every game is like their division. This is the first one. This is the test. And we know black and blue division, they always play tough. No matter which record.
It's going to be a brutal game.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
It's going to be. This is going to tell us who's going to rise to the top for sure.
Yeah.
You know, very important game for both teams. I mean, it's position, right? Pittsburgh right now is 3rd seed. If they can win this game, they can gain against either Kansas City or Buffalo. So they have a shot at that number 2 seed, but they got to beat their division rival Baltimore, who is trying to overtake Pittsburgh. And the playoff seedings could be tossing and turning this weekend like you would not believe. There's a lot of teams that are going to move up and down and all around these standings. And, some of these teams really need wins. I mean, when you think Denver's got what, one game over 500?
Yeah, I picked that game too. Falcons at Broncos, right?
Yeah,
Falcons at
I
Broncos.
have that one as well.
It's a big game because
It
both of
is.
those teams are still like the Falcons on out of the like they clearly need to keep winning, and the Broncos honestly played the Chiefs extremely tough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they look at the coach, Sean Payton, right? I mean, he knows what he's doing. He came in. I'm kind of disappointed that, the Patriots didn't go after Payton. I mean, that would have been acceptable, for a replacement of Bill.
I mean, Gerard Mayo's doing all right now. He's moved. He's getting better.
On.
I mean,
he's a puppet.
That'll be a fun game. I had as well. Bengals at Chargers.
I got that one too because the Bengals are not out of this.
No, right? If they win out, the Bengals still and legitimately have a shot. And the Chargers need to prove that
one game behind the wild card.
Yeah, and the Chargers need to prove that. Look, they're taking that step to get into the playoffs and be a contender. It might take 11 wins to get to the postseason in the NFC this year. Yeah, there are a lot of good teams in the NFC.
Yeah, and right? That was
Detroit, Minnesota, Philly.
That was the thing. Like, they've been pretty weak out there. Then all of a sudden, wait, Arizona's back. I gotta give Kyler Murray some credit. I mean, he's a big reason why they're. Yeah, wow. I know, huh?
Wow,
I know, but he's a big reason why they've got a shot at this. They're 6-4, and Kyler Murray is obvious choice of who has stepped up on that team. He's done well.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I told you, New England. That would have been the pick for me, but we'll talk about that at some point. Also had Seahawks at 49ers.
Yep, I got that one as well.
This will pretty much bury the Seahawks if they don't win this game. And are we going to finally start to see the 49ers take off and be the team that we expected them to be all year? This is the game.
Yeah, I think if Seattle loses this game, they're toast. What are they, 3-6 right now?
Yeah, that pretty much seals their fate.
Yeah, they have to win this game. This is a must-win for Seattle. San Francisco, they can afford the loss, but I don't think they want to lose this one.
They need to start to show that they're going to be more consistent. What's your other game? You had one more then.
I had to put it on the list.
One.
No, hell no.
I was going to say.
Houston at Dallas.
Get out of here. Why?
Why? Because look at the debacle last week.
You're really hoping Jerry Jones just drops in the booth. You are an evil man. Teams of interest. Jerry Jones in the booth.
James, I'm sorry. I just want Dallas to just
heck
crumble.
No, James says.
Right
heck no is what James
crumble. Says. I want them to lose so bad that fans just
I will say this though. The Texans too need to start to look better. They have not looked good the last couple of weeks. That's going to be important for them. So if Dallas can keep this thing close, I mean, again, Cooper Rush now, I get what Dak had the surgery.
Who is going to start? Is it going to be Cooper?
Cooper. I don't know. Trace Lance played last week.
Right.
So I don't know. James, any insight on that? Who's their starting quarterback this week? I don't know.
Have a guy from the stands. I don't know. Oh, it's that guy that played for the Patriots.
No, what about Uncle Rico? What about Uncle Rico?
It's Greer.
Oh my! Do you remember that guy? I wouldn't mind prime time coaching the boys next season. I would.
Prime time? He can't even coach the team he's got now.
He's doing pretty good in college again. Colorado's in the top 25. Cooper Rush, they say. So Rush starting.
So Greer's not ready.
They
were terrible last week.
Oh my goodness.
They were terrible.
I don't know. I don't think that's a game of interest. But anyway, we'll move on.
No, it's an interest because I want to see the demise of the Cowboys.
You just want to see the complete fall.
Yes, I do.
Fall. Yeah, you're out of control. I love you.
It's like awesome. A cliffhanger, and you got them way up on this cliff, and they're like, "Whoa!" I
this
want to see firing.
Stallone cliffhanger? Stallone cliffhanger where you're watching that little thing start to break apart and like
yes,
she's gonna
just
fall,
like
and
that.
Just right like when he got there, they fell.
Another Stallone. Oh my God, we
two references of Stallone tonight.
After Stallone this week.
Hey, okay, Stephen A. Yeah, he's a Stephen A. He's definitely a Dallas Cowboys hater. All right, Ron, we're gonna have some continued fun here with the NFL because we're moving on to free throws.
Shoot, I didn't. All right, hold on. I gotta get this.
Free throws. We are going to give each other 4 teams.
Oh, I do have it.
And we're going to. Oh, look at that! It's kind of cool.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, a little. And it's wide receiver, best wide receiver on the team. So we're going to give each other 4 teams. Key here is we didn't tell each other what the team was. So this is like we're just spitfiring. I am first this week.
That's what I worry about.
So I started off very easy team. Very easy. If you can't get this one right, you got some issues.
Wait a minute, can't get it right?
Wide receiver. So the key is here, everybody that's watching us live, you need to let us know if we made the free throw. So with our
you
answer,
got to give them the rules, Eric, first.
If the answer...
And don't be like Kenny.
If you feel that the answer was correct, then we made the free throw. If you feel like we answered incorrectly and there was a better answer, then we missed the free throw, and then we are basically tracking our performance to see how well of a free throw shooter we are. All right, so there's the rules.
3 out of 4, right?
Yes, we are 3 out of 4 right now, 75%. All right, so Ron, your first team, the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks. Oh, that's going to be Steve Largent.
Bang, baby, right? That's that was a gimme. That was a layup. That was a Larry Bird free throw for you.
Steve Largent, man,
right?
He
Has
was
to be
great.
So good.
Like, didn't he have an insurmountable amount of 100-yard games or something like that?
He was so good, and Jerry Rice ruined it all because he was like the second best wide receiver forever. When Jerry Rice. I'm like, Steve Largent was pretty badass.
Steve Largent was really good. And I'm thinking, I was like, who was the receiver?
Yeah.
And then all I could think of is Nate. And I'm like, wait, no.
Steve Largent.
It's absolutely.
If you're live out there, did Ron make the free throw? I think it was a gimme. That was a gimme, but okay.
40 plus, I think. 100-yard games.
Yeah, no, Steve Largent was one of the best. And he ran for Congress.
Come on, people.
And he ran
I can't see the thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll let you know if somebody responds.
All right. Let me see. If you gave me a layup, I think maybe I'll give you a layup. Who do I want to give as
Kenny
a layup?
said yes. You made the free throw.
Thank you, Kenny. All right, let's do Green Bay Packers.
Oh, that's one of mine. All right.
Well,
so you beat me to it. So I will say that they've had a ton of great wide receivers. Shannon Sharp, not Shannon, his brother. What was his brother? Whatever, one of the Sharp boys. Sterling Sharp, yes. But I went Donald Driver, who leads the Green Bay Packers all time in receptions. Donald Driver.
I thought you were going to go Don Hudson.
Don Hudson's another good one, but I went with the leaders, man. Donald Driver has over 1,000 receptions in his career for the Green Bay Packers. Only guy in Green Bay history.
Yeah.
All right. Kenny, James, whoever else is out there, did I make the free throw? All right, Ron. I like it. James liked it. Oh, I got one. I made it. Swish. All right.
I don't know if that's a swish.
Jordy Nelson. Just not the same numbers.
Don Hudson was so good. He led the league in receptions 8 times in 11 seasons.
What did he get?
8 times in 11 years.
20 catches. They didn't throw back then.
No, they didn't throw back then. It was like 30%
There you go.
of throwing, but
Come on.
still, he still led
Come
the league
on.
8 times.
I got the free throw. We're both
I'm
at
not saying you
100%.
didn't. That's a good pick.
Donald Driver. All right, number 3 for me. My third
Could
team.
be Mini Driver for all you know.
Mini Driver. Buffalo Bills.
Oh, come on. Come on, dude. It's got to be Andre Reed.
Andre Reed, baby. Right?
Like, the guy was awesome. The guy was awesome.
The guy was awesome.
Yeah, no, man. That's the guy that they need to. If they had Andre Reed with them this year,
yeah, that '90s run
prime.
with him and Jim Kelly, so good. They were so good together. Andre Reed, I agree with you there. I think that's a definite another layup. I gave you layups tonight. We should change the name of the segment to layups.
All right, I'll give you a nice
You
one.
said that last time. Green Bay, Donuts.
I can't be that nice.
I know. You got an animal inside you, Mike Tyson. That's a swish.
Pissed that Kenny
Another
didn't give me
swish.
that fourth one.
James said a swoosh. You got it.
All right,
You made it.
let's
2
go
for 2.
Baltimore.
Oh my goodness.
Baltimore Ravens.
It has to be Shannon Sharp.
No, he's a tight end.
So you're not counting tight ends? Ooh.
No, you said receivers. You said receivers.
I did.
Wide receivers.
Baltimore.
Come on.
Baltimore Ravens. What's his name there? No. How long? He wasn't there. He was more in Arizona. Saquon Bolden. Mike Tyson's going to win tonight, Danny says. Yikes. Baltimore's receivers. I'm trying to think of who they had.
Right now, my fans are just waving those little fingers.
Yeah, I'm missing this free throw because I'm gonna have to say Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden.
If they give this to you, I'll be pissed. Should be Derek Mason.
No, Anquan Bolden.
No.
Yes.
Mason has all the numbers. Yeah,
Cowboys,
go look him up.
Let me know if I made that free throw. All right, so I got to change my team now. So because you went Green Bay, so I am gonna go with. Let's go. I like Anquan Bolden. That's what James said. Hey, it's
He
2
did
for
give
2.
you all this kinds of leeway.
He had that X factor. That Anquan Bolden, man, that man was mint.
Mason
Those
was
hands,
better.
those hands. All right, so Ron, let's go with. If I can name a guy right off the bat, it's too easy. But all right, let's go to Miami Dolphins.
Oh, come on. Don't insult me. Mark Clayton.
Why not Mark Dupa?
Mark Clayton.
The Dupa.
It's got to be the answer.
The Marx brothers.
What?
Could be Mark Dupa.
No, it's not Mark Dupa. Get out of here. You're out of your mind. It's all Mark Clayton. It's Clayton. There can't be
Kenny said
other.
no. Kenny said you missed.
Oh, that's just BS. That's BS.
Kenny said no.
How are you saying no?
I don't know. He said
He
no.
holds all the records.
2 of 3, my friend. What's your third?
How do you think Dan Marino throws the ball to him 100 million times?
It was both of them, the Marx brothers.
Oh, get out of here.
They were both
get
good.
out of here.
Mark
This
Dupa.
is just BS. This is like Kansas City with these referees.
James said Mark Dupa. Hey, I didn't pay anybody off. All right. 2 for 3, Ron. Who's your third team?
That's just crap.
Gets so mad when he misses the free throw.
Because it doesn't even matter. You're gonna say anything, and they're gonna give it to you because they're biased. They're like Kansas City Chief refs.
Oh, you're not winning them over by insulting them.
I don't care. I don't care.
Are you going to give me a team or no?
All right, Tennessee.
Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
They had a Mason too. Who was the dude? Yeah, right. Mason with when it was Steve McNair.
You can't even name the guy.
Because he was the one that came up short in the Super Bowl. It was Mason. Tennessee. So I'm going. Randy Moss played for Tennessee for like a year. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mason. It's got to be Mason.
Mason who?
Derek Mason wasn't he on both of them?
Yes,
oh
he
my
was.
god! There you go.
So Derek Mason isn't good enough for the team he played longer for,
Yes, because he was
and
much
he's
better.
good enough for this team now. This is just a travesty. If they give this to you, I'm going to be pissed.
Titans career receiving leaders. Hold on. Let's see what we had here. Ooh, oh boy. Yeah, actually, no, it was Derek Mason was 6th all time. Haywood
Right,
Jeffries.
see?
Drew Hill. Yeah, I wait. Oh, hold on though. Hold on. Let's see. Receptions wise, Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries. Haywood Jeffries was really good. Drew Hill, yeah. Haywood Jeffries should have been the answer. I missed that one. I'm gonna say I missed that one. Ernest Givens.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
we got to let them vote.
Nope. Ron reminds me of George Costanza. That's what Danny said. He's got a little George Costanza in him.
Serenity now!
Ernest Givens. So I missed. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right. My last team, Ron. And now I got to change this because I didn't go. The person I put was a tight end. So I think I know who you're going to go with. Dallas Cowboys.
Michael Irvin, of course. Come on, he's got the Super Bowls, he's got the numbers. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Michael Irvin.
Yeah, it's got to be Irvin. I think he's second. Jason Witten actually leads the team all time, but he's a tight end.
Yeah, but he's a tight end.
He's a tight end. Yeah, so you made that one. Yeah, it's got to be a given. James, the Cowboy fan out there, Danny's Cowboy fan. Best wide receiver in Dallas Cowboys history. Michael Irvin. All right. What's your team? Oh, I guess Kenny said yes to you, no to me. So I think I'm 1 for 3 right now. Yeah, I agree. He agrees. James agrees. You made that one. You're 3 of 4 today. Oh, you're 4 of 4. You're 100%. No, Ron. Primetime Deion. Danny went with Deion Sanders. Best wide receiver all time. Danny.
Okay. Well, I did have Buffalo, so now I got to figure out who else I want. You know what?
You made that one.
You know what?
What?
Let's do New England.
See, I was going to put New England on there. And I was like, and there's so many best wide receiver in New England history, Stanley Morgan. I know everybody's going to go with the fancy pick, Randy Moss, Troy Brown's broke records.
Well,
Julian.
Randy Moss didn't play long enough to be the best.
But it's Stanley Morgan. No doubt in my mind. By far one of the best wide receivers.
I don't know about that.
Stanley Morgan.
Why not Edelman?
Stanley Morgan leads. He has all the records. He was the team in the 80s. He
Andre doesn't have any Super Bowls, though.
Yeah, I know.
Edelman
We're not talking about postseason.
No, just best receiver
of all time was Stanley Morgan.
Was it?
Yes.
He hasn't done enough to me. Well, let's see what these guys say.
Let's see what they say. Oh, I figure you can't see it. And I will tell you. Let's see what they say.
Hold on, I'm going to
nobody's
refresh,
answered yet.
See if it works. Let me refresh.
Oof. Stanley Morgan, 4th all time. Did I lose, Ron? Yeah, but the Super Bowl fact, I go Edelman, Alvin Hopper for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I don't know about the best. Wes Welker's all-time leader. Julian's second, Troy Brown third, then Stanley Morgan. But Stanley Morgan is like up 3,000 to 4,000 yards over both all those guys. And more. Oh, yeah. You are Stanley Morgan. It's clearly Stanley Morgan. 67 touchdowns. Next closest on those three guys was 37 with Wes. Nope, not even close, buddy. I was wrong. Deion Sanders was a cornerback. Very good, Danny. Can't get back in. Oh, boy. Ron's struggling again. There he is.
Next closest. I can't believe I couldn't get back in.
That is hilarious. Stanley Morgan is fourth all-time in receptions.
Yeah.
Most yards by a New England receiver, most touchdowns by a New England receiver, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
This is a tough one because Irving Fryer is out there, too.
It's not even close, though.
I'm just saying.
Stanley Morgan, 10,352 yards, 67 touchdowns.
So what did they say?
They didn't answer. They keep talking about all these other things. Alvin Harper came out.
Alvin Harper?
For the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, come on.
It's Stanley Morgan, buddy. Give me one. I'll be 50% today. Only two wide receivers, yes.
I mean, I have no problem with Stanley Morgan.
All right. So it's Stanley Morgan. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, as soon as they vote.
They haven't voted. Nobody's talking about it. But James said he went with Edelman because of the Super Bowl factor.
Right.
But this is what I'm saying. Julian Edelman, yards, 6,822. Stanley Morgan, 10,000. Again, almost 4,000 yards more.
That's why I'm saying it depends on what you feel.
And 30 more touchdown receptions. 30. That's a lot.
Yeah. Stanley Morgan was a beast. He just had no team.
So it's got to be Stanley Morgan. But James says he went Edelman, but nobody else answered. So it's up to you. I'm 1-3. I'm 1 for 4, or I'm 2 for 4.
Well, Kenny's having a few sips, so he'll answer eventually.
Yeah, Kenny's really good at that. All right, Ron. Before we talk about the NBA, let's talk some Hall of Fame. Got some voting still going on for the Hall of Fame. And right now for Major League Baseball, Reggie Jackson, Dave Parker, Dave Winfield, Ken Griffey Sr., and Roberto Clemente. You can cast your votes now on the Sports Unfolded Sports poll page on Facebook. Let us know who you think should be inducted into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. We also have some auto racing: Darrell Waltrip, AJ Foyt, Bobby Rahal, Elaine Prost, and Terry Labonte. Again, polls are still open. Make sure you cast your votes to help nominate one of those individuals to the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. On the left-hand side are all of the inductees and all of those that have been nominated on the right. So that's where we're at with the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Cast your votes and let us know who should get in. Do you still not see comments, Ron?
No, I don't see them.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I do. Yay.
Hey.
All right. Let me get this up here. What was the question?
All right. Let's talk some NBA.
At least I can see it now. So refreshing worked.
All right. So we're talking some NBA. Ron, the Cleveland Cavaliers started the season 13-0. Should they be considered the best team in the East?
Well, right now, yes. Until 3 games from now. So
here's where I think they've been more consistent. They are the number 1 scoring team in the league league right now.
Oh, I got the number.
21.8. Number 1 in field goal percentage. So they're shooting the ball extremely well. Number 2 in point differential and 7th overall in points per game defensively. So they're covering all the bases. And then you look at all their stars. Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. They're legitimately a very good team with better coaching. Kenny Atkinson, now the head coach there.
They got 6 guys in double digits in points.
They're a scary
putting
team.
Up numbers.
Ron, they're a very scary
numbers. Team. All the rage right now is that plus minus, right?
Yep.
They're doing the plus minus like they did in the NBA in the NHL, right?
Yeah.
They have 4 guys that are a minus on the team, and all 4 play less than 6 minutes. So, everybody that they put on the floor is going to help them. And when you're talking about guys that, just working well together, this team is this is a team. This is a squad. And I knew they were going to be good. I didn't know they'd be this good.
And we said this about Boston, right?
At it,
Go ahead.
No, when you look at this and you see that Garland especially is impressing me. The 20.5 points. He's also get 6.5 assists in a game. And, Mobley with the his 17.8. Jared Allen, 13.3 points per game, and he's putting up 10 rebounds, 10.7 to be exact, in a game. And, these guys are just working well. And, their 3 upcoming games, when you look at who they have to play, I mean, Chicago, I believe, is one of the games. I think, and Charlotte. Then they have the Celtics. That's going to be the test. So I think they can get to 15-0 and then go into Boston. Here's the problem, though. So they play Boston, and that's tough to play at the Boston Garden. And then the very next night, they have to go and play New Orleans. And yes, New Orleans is not playing very well, right? But when it's the second night in a row and you have to travel, that's going to be tough. So if they may beat Boston, but they may lose to New Orleans if they do. They could lose both.
Yeah, Kenny Garland shooting 66% so far for the season.
Yep.
This is what my fear factor would be for them, especially since we're Boston Celtics fans. If you look at Jason Tatum and they were like to take the next step. So what ends up happening is you're seeing it now with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody kept questioning, can this guy get over that hurdle postseason, get his team right? And now you're starting to see it. Is he elevating his game? So, I mean, that is phenomenal when you look at what he's been able to do with this team.
Yeah.
And they've got the bodies, right? The big bodies. Kenny's right. The rebounding, they can play defensively. They've got an offensive juggernaut when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, who can take over a game and score 50 at any given time. This is a very scary team. And Boston cannot sleep. They've lost a couple games that, and one of them they shouldn't have lost.
Right.
That's where you start to these little games. They're 3 games back at Cleveland already. We're going to do our prediction segment later on. They are playing Cleveland in, I think, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can't afford to lose that game. If you're Boston, you can't afford to give Cleveland too many games ahead of you before you start to really worry about, hey, second position is not where you want to be, especially with this Cleveland Cavaliers team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the East right now. And to your point,
right now,
I think they could maintain that if they continue to play as well as they are playing. Coaching matters. Coaching matters in the NBA.
Look, if they beat the Celtics, then they're clearly the best team, right? Because you would have to beat Boston on their home floor. And, the New Orleans game, it's an expected loss because you're playing the second night of a back-to-back and you have to travel to New Orleans. Unless it's at home, but it doesn't matter. You're still traveling.
Yeah, no,
you're still traveling.
It's going to be an incredible game. That's a game that everybody needs to watch. But,
so, Danny, you do get a prize. You get
you get to nominate. You get to put somebody in the Hall of Fame. That's the prize.
Yes,
that is the prize. Ron, great talk about the NBA. Again, if you're live and you have any comments, let us know. But we are going to move on to Major League Baseball, Ron. Tampa Bay Rays will play their games next season in the Yankees spring training park. Is this the right decision by Major League Baseball?
I don't like it at all. First of all, you have enough money that you can at least fix the stadium.
Well, they said it's
I
going
don't
to
know
take
how
a
bad
year.
it is.
They said it's going to take a year to repair. Then they're going to fix it. The problem is too, they're moving in 2 years. I think 2028 or something. They got the new stadium coming, so they don't want to.
I would much rather have them play at a college somewhere.
Right? It doesn't.
Seriously,
11,000 fans fit in this stadium. It's
I
a
don't like
minor
it.
league park. They're gonna do some,
Yeah.
modifications, but
First of all, the reason why I don't like it is you're going into a Yankees house.
and think about that. They're paying the Yankees.
Yes,
You're paying your division rival. You're giving them money to do this, which is insane.
yes,
to
I don't
think
like
about.
it at all. I mean, I would have gone to a university and say, "Hey, look, let's play here. Can we make a schedule work?" I mean, it's got to be able to work because it's not like they play games all week long in colleges, right? I think it's just a weekend thing. So if you have to schedule your home games during the week and your weekends are all away, then that's what it is. But I don't like the fact that they're going to play in a division rival's field because it's a reminder that you weren't good enough this past year and now you're looking up at the Yankees all the time. And that, to me, sends a different mindset to a team.
George Steinbrenner literally rolling over in his grave right now. What do you mean? I got another team playing in my facilities. That's that George Costanza. There you go. Calzone. Right? Like, there's no way. This doesn't even make sense. This does not make sense. And it drives me insane. To your point, I would have went a college stadium or figured it out. I don't know. But I don't like it. I just feel like it's giving a bad image to Major League Baseball because it's like the Rays don't matter. Like, hey, you go, we're just gonna shove you in this little stadium and make it.
First of all, why are they waiting till now to do this? Where were you after it hit? You should have been on the phones trying to figure this out immediately, not waiting until mid-November.
And to your point, it's probably cheaper just to rip off the whole roof for now and just keep it like an outdoor stadium.
Right. This is what I'm saying. You have the money. You can do it. You have until February. Not even February.
April. Plenty of time. Rip the top off.
Yes.
For now.
It was a crappy dome anyway.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was awful.
Everything can be. You
can't
even
like
see
playing
it.
Plinko up there in the roof.
Pickleball.
Bing, 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 bing.
So I don't get it. I don't know what the Rays. I don't know. Whatever.
They suck. Period.
There we go. Oh my goodness. We are having some fun tonight. Hopefully you're joining us live. Chime in with your chats. Did Major League Baseball get this right? Rays going to play in the minor league field. Field doesn't have drainage is the issue. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a good call. Good call, James.
Hence colleges.
No, and how do you that's why they can't open it up.
Able to fix the drain.
No, but he's right. They'd have to rip everything from the ground up too to put drains in, because if they don't have a roof, you can't. If it rains once, you're gonna have sitting water the whole time. That was a good call, James. That man is intelligent. I'm gonna give you are scholar over here. Scholar. Let's talk, Ron, some split decisions. Our split decision segment, basically, we give each other two more likely questions, and we have to make a decision. I am first, so I will start us off. Ron, your first split decision. Which NFL running back is more likely to rush for the most yards this season? Saquon Barkley, who has 1,137 yards, or Derrick Henry, who has 1,120 yards?
Who's more likely to get what?
Lead the league in rushing this season in yards.
Oh, lead the league.
Saquon, big game yesterday from Saquon. I think he's got the most 100-yard games so far this season. Not that I'm trying to sway you, but
because when you look at it, injuries come out of off the board because they both get injured.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Derrick Henry.
James said Derrick Henry as well. I don't know, though. I mean, Saquon seems like he's on another level right now. He's playing some really inspiring football. So that's good, though. Derrick Henry. And you had somebody agree with you there. So what do you got? What's your first split decision?
Let me see. Which one do I want to go with? We'll go with this one first. Who will more likely sign the bigger contract? Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander? Now, I will say that they're both coming off of a $43.3 million a year deal. Who's going to sign the bigger contract?
Scherzer or Verlander? Yeesh. Do you have ages for me by any chance?
One is like 42 and a half, and the other one's like
that's
41
Verlander,
and a
right?
half.
Yeah, they're both around the same. It depends on what team, but I
Scherzer might be older.
Verlander, to me, the postseason pitcher that we kind of think he is, I would go Verlander because it just seems like he has, but he's less likely. He doesn't want to really go anywhere. He's been sticking with the same team, but I would go Verlander. I think Verlander would sign a bigger contract.
Okay. No, I like it. I think I would have chosen the same thing because of the playoffs.
Yeah, that playoff Scherzer's won in the playoffs, but not like Verlander. You remember he had some big games, and teams traded for him just to have them on the postseason roster because they felt he could make a difference. So that's a good question, though. That was a good one. All right, my second split decision, Ron. Which is more likely for Jason Tatum this season? MVP, All-NBA, or Finals MVP?
I'm going to say Finals MVP.
Ooh, so you got him going back.
I don't think he's going to get the MVP because they're going to give it to somebody else. I can't see him winning that because I think it's going to go to somebody that I don't know, that just isn't Jason Tatum.
But he's a lock for all NBA, no? So you think it's more likely, though, that he gets Finals MVP?
I think he's going to get Finals MVP is really why I'm saying it.
Okay, interesting. All right, that's a good one. I
it is probably a very good one.
First all team. First team all NBA, but okay. All right, what's your second one?
All right, my second split decision. This is going to be a great one. Oh boy. This one's juicy.
Juicy.
Who is more likely to be traded? John Tavares, Evgeny Malkin, or Brad Marchand? More likely to be traded. Because they're all free agent, I believe, after the season.
Tavares plays for
Toronto.
And Malkin's with Pittsburgh.
It's a good one, huh?
Third in the East, or Atlantic, sorry. I keep it on from Marchand. Tavares is always rumored. And I feel like Toronto, but they're in second in the Atlantic. So I go Malkin because I think probably a little further down. Who are they? They're hockey, Danny.
Yeah, you guys have a hockey team over there. LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah. So I would go Malkin just because I think the other two are still in that playoff push. Toronto makes it every year. Boston usually makes it every year. Pittsburgh's kind of always teetering.
Well, I would have said Toronto getting rid of Tavares because both Tavares and Marner are free agents at the end of the year. And they're
But
not going
Toronto
to be able
never
to
makes
do
smart
both.
moves. How many times now? The last 4 years we've been doing the show, every year we talk about Toronto should do this, and they do the complete opposite.
Yeah, this is true.
So I could see them doing it again.
You might have
like
a
that.
point there.
They're going to be like, oh, we're going to make playoffs. Tavares, right? They got all these good guys, and then they don't make a move that would benefit them. So I would say they're not going to do it. And Malkin, I could see again. And don't forget who owns the Penguins. That's your guy right there, Mr. Henry. He likes to not pay people.
Good. Trade him.
So there you go.
Trade him to Boston.
Boston.
For
I knew you were
bag
going to
of
go
pucks.
there. Bag of pucks. All right. Well, let's continue with this great segue into the NHL, Ron. So Connor McDavid is the 4th fastest player to reach 1,000 points in his career. Are we watching greatness?
Oop.
Hey, that's
Wrong
not him.
Nope.
That's him.
That's him. Looks like that's a target right there, huh?
Yeah, right. That's a little.
He can't be great until he wins a championship.
I that's what I put my last line. Biggest thing for him to cement his legacy is to win a championship.
If he wins a championship, greatness.
Because the guys he's behind right now, Wayne Gretzky, who did it in 424 games, which is crazy. This, by the way,
crazy.
Connor McDavid, 659.
Yeah.
Mario Lemieux, 513.
Yep.
And then Mike Bossy was 656.
All great players, right?
All of those guys won a championship.
This further tells me that Sidney Crosby has no business being in the top 5.
How do you always get into a Sidney Crosby argument?
Because I'm so irritated by Sidney Crosby fans. Oh, top 5 player. No, he's not. Not top 5. You know why he's not top 5? I'm glad you asked. Steve Yzerman did it in 737. Yari Curry, 716. Guy Lafleur, 720. Marcel Dion, 740. Phil Esposito, 745 games. And Brian Trottier did it in 726. All better than Sidney Crosby. All of them. They're all better. So enough with this Sidney Crosby's top 5 crap. Because it's totally BS. Crosby did it in 757 games.
You are having a Costanza.
Above all of those guys.
All right, Ron.
So enough with Crosby, you
little did you know, Ron. So he's also the 4th youngest player to get to 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Do you know who the other 3 players are?
All right, young players. I would say it had to be Lemieux.
Okay, he's one of them.
I would say it had to be Gretzky.
That was this. Yeah, he was the youngest, 23 years old.
I'm going to say Steve Yzerman.
Very good, Ron. Steve Yzerman. Believe it or not, McDavid, 27 years old, 306 days. Steve Yzerman, 27 years old, 291 days. So, you're talking about what?
You like
15,
that, huh?
15?
You were surprised.
I am. 15-day difference. 15 days. 4th youngest, which is crazy to think about. To your point, win a championship, we'll talk. But he is, I mean, his number is phenomenal. Like, if you think about the names we've talked about, they are some of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And he's in that class. But again, that championship is going to loom until he wins one. It's going to come back to bite him because I don't think you're ever going to consider him in that same class.
Nope.
Which is crazy.
Not until he wins one.
Gretzky, 23 years old when he did it. Isn't that insane?
The guy was a scoring machine.
Dude, it's just
2 points
ridiculous.
a game.
Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Let's talk a little Bruins, my friend. Hampus Lindholm will be sidelined for a couple weeks. Will this benefit the Boston Bruins?
Might be more than a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, is this going to benefit?
They're saying, I don't want to hear you guys ask me how he's doing in 2 weeks. So I think it's going to be more than 2 weeks. And this is not a good thing for Boston because he has been their best defenseman this season. and it's bad. And they almost lost Carlo last night. He got boarded from behind, which should have been a 5-minute major. The referees have stunk all year in every game. And he hit head first, and there was a little question on whether or not he got a concussion or not. They let him play. So
I will ask you this question, Ron. Team 8-2, right? But they are third in the Atlantic.
yeah.
They are minus 16 in the point
Yes.
differential. So
I know.
one of the only teams that are even, and the fact that they're third is crazy.
Their special teams have been horrible, Eric.
Horrible. But does this injury help Jim Montgomery keep his job longer?
No.
You start to look at it and say, hey, you got some big injuries. Peak is also out, right? So now you're looking at some of your defensemen that are out. Does this kind of like say, hey, look, if they can stay at that 500 mark and still stay competitive
the problem with that is the problem with all of this is that they shouldn't even be there. And, they're saying that they're beginning to come out of this. I don't see any evidence of that.
Yeah, they're still about 500, 5-4-1 in their last 10.
They're 4-2 and 1 in the last 7 games. If that's coming out of it, then fine. But I know what I'm looking at, and what I'm looking at is a team that is just inept on the power play and can't stop anybody's power play. I mean, St. Louis went in there without scoring a power play goal at home, and they've got 2 against the Boston Bruins. And at that point, St. Louis was the worst in the league in the power play. They made them look great. Same thing with Toronto. Toronto came in, was the worst power play in the league, believe it or not, with all that talent. Well, Toronto certainly got what they needed with the Bruins, and they scored 3 on them. So they can't stop anybody, and it looks so easy to score on them. And they're coming in bunches. You're looking at a team that is playing very undisciplined, can't stay out of the penalty box, and they're not doing well. Last year, they were great on the penalty kill. But DeBrusque, Heinen were 2 of the 4 players that spent the most time out there. They're not with the team anymore. And look how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's bad. Their penalty killing is atrocious. If they don't fix that and the power play, they're not going anywhere. And
you got a big trade coming?
The word is, I think there's a trade coming, and I think they're going after a top 6 forward. Okay. Personally, I'd like to see Zadorov out the door. He was supposed to be the answer the Bruins need. Well, he didn't show toughness until, the Dallas game where Jamie Benn boarded Brandon Carlo, and he had to leave the game. He did come back, but he didn't show toughness until then. And it was Jamie Benn. It's not even like a tough guy. And so it took till now for him to wake up and do anything. And he still has stunk defensively.
Stunk. Plus the Bruins. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough year for you. For all us Bruins fans. I mean, you're obviously a big Bruins fan, but all right, Ron. Great NHL talk. We're going to move on to our pick and roll time.
It's time for pick and roll.
Pick and roll. I don't know why it says 1997 NHL draft, but
what the heck?
That's all right, buddy. Listen, we are on episode 46 of season 4. So today we decided to do athletes that have gone into their 46 or older in their career, and we're going to rank them from 6 to 1. And those athletes are George Blanda, George Foreman, Gordie Howe, Jamie Moyer, Satchel Paige, and Martina Navratilova. I am first this week, so I will start us off. And at 6 for me, Jamie Moyer. This guy pitched a lot, though. 4,074 innings pitched. I think he was the oldest pitcher, they say, in Major League history to pitch. 269 wins, 209 losses, a 4.25 ERA, 2,441 Ks, one-time All-Star, Robert Clemente Award, and a one-time champion, but he was 6 for me. At 5, and it's only because I really didn't like his record, George Blanda, 53-50-1. So, I mean, 3 games over 500. And then that completion percentage of 47.7%. I get it, different league, but still 26,920 yards, 6.7 yards per attempt, 236 touchdowns, Ron, only 277 interceptions. That's not a good plus minus. So again, 4 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, 4-time Player of the Year, a couple different ones, a 1-time AFC and MVP, and then a 3-time AFL champ. He also kicked. When I was doing all this, I was like, hey, look, he was a kicker. But then he was like 52% for field goals. So even that wasn't blowing my mind. So I went George Blanda at 5. At 4, I went Satchel Paige, 1,751.2 innings pitched, 124-82. So very good record, 2.73 ERA, which was impressive, 1,501 strikeouts. Also had 44 saves, 8-time All-Star, 2-time ERA champ, 2-time World Series champ. At 3, I went, go ahead, you want to put it up? George Foreman. I went George Foreman at 3, 76-5, 68 knockouts in his career, Ron. That's pretty impressive. He did win a gold medal and a 2-time heavyweight champion. And everybody will remember those great fights with Ali. And then the comeback later on where he was able to beat some people. So he was 3rd for me. At 2, I went Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe, 801 goals, 1,049 assists, 1,850 points in his career, plus 160, 121 game-winning goals, 21-time All-Star, 6-time Raw, 6-time Hart, 4 Cups, 2 WHA championships. I mean, man was hockey. I mean, what did he play in? It was 50s.
Mr. Hockey, he was.
Right? At number 1, though, Martina Navratilova, and these numbers are ridiculous. Singles, Ron. 1,442 wins, 219 losses, 167 different titles won in her career as singles. Also was ranked number 1. But add in her doubles.
Yep.
747 and 143, 177 titles in that. So if you think about it, 234 titles in her career. And also ranked number 1 for doubles. Martina Navratilova by far had to be number 1 on this list.
Okay, so we get the list exact. I'm even going to expand on Martina because, I mean, you did a great job because the singles and doubles, that's over 2,100 wins right there.
Insane.
But don't forget the mixed doubles with 10 more Grand Slam titles. Mixed doubles. I mean, she has 55 Grand Slam titles all total,
Insane.
which is absolutely insane. And this is why I think she's the number 1 female tennis player of all time. Not taking anything away from Serena Williams. She was great, but those numbers don't lie. And when you add the factor of all the players that she had in tennis having to go up against and beat Chris Evert, Capriati, there's a lot of them, right? It's not the competition that Serena had, and Martina is well deserving of all the accolades she's getting. I mean, look at that win percentage. It's just mind-boggling. You don't see numbers like that anywhere.
No, she was phenomenal.
And she's got a case for, being the top 4 all-time athletes. Yeah. There's a case right there.
Member of the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yes.
Martina Navratilova.
But the
So proud of
list,
that. Right.
fantastic
Oh,
list. These are
all
some
these
great players.
wait, like even Jamie Moyer, to think about pitching to you almost 50 was pretty
Yeah.
remarkable to look at. So no, great list, great group of athletes. And that was a fun list to do.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I thought I actually had Gordie Howe penciled in at number 1, and then I reminded myself of Martina
Yeah.
Navratilova because I thought she was going to be number 2. And then when I really looked at those numbers, I'm like, there's no comparison.
Insane.
Gordie Howe scored 801 goals,
Which
and
is
there's no comparison.
not even close. Like there's 2, and she's by far number 1. No, that was great. That was a great list. All right, Ron. That was our pick and roll segment, but it's time for predictions. And
really already?
Yeah, already. And look at this last week, James, Kenny back to normal, 3-5 losing record. James sticking that 500. He can't get past the 49% though. It's still not over 500 here. And me and you tied last week, which is boding well for me because I am just crushing it. I am crushing it.
You've had a very good year.
If you want to
look, Danny, you're out there, you're watching. Put your predictions down.
Get your name on this chart
this week. You were here last week and you didn't do them.
So if you give us your prediction, we put your name on our chart and you see how you stack up against everyone else here. So we are starting off, Ron, in the NBA with the Phoenix Suns at the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is tonight.
Good game. Wow.
Very good game. I'm going OKC here, though, at home.
Yeah, I'm going OKC as well. I think home for 2 teams like this really help. And that's why I got to go with OKC in this case. They got the home court, and that gives them a little bit of an advantage. And that's the advantage they need to win that game.
Yeah. Michael. OKC. All right, Mike. Welcome back.
I wanna be one. Hey, Michael.
Yeah, Mike coming back, man. We haven't seen Mike in a while. Mike was a guest on our show.
Yes,
Mike. Great.
How are you, Michael?
Anyone else out there? Phoenix Suns at the Oklahoma City Thunder. James went OKC as well. Kenny went Suns. Danny, you out there?
Come on, Danny.
James with the little thunder sign. I like it.
Well, that would be lightning, not thunder.
Yeah, well, good call. All right, easy.
Thunder is a sound, not.
All right. Calm down, Thunder buddies over here. You want to sing the song? I don't think we can.
Hey, you know, thunder reminds me of Thunder Lips from Rocky 3.
Hey, another Stallone. We are on fire.
Thunder Lips.
I was going to say Tulsa Kings, but Tulsa's in Oklahoma, right? Oklahoma.
Oh, that's such a great show.
All right, let's move on then. NBA as well. 11-19, Ron. Big matchup. Cleveland Cavaliers at the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I'm going to take Boston in this one. It's not a strong prediction, but I am going with Boston because I think if there's a game that they're going to be up for, this is the one.
I said the same thing. I went Boston here, and I went Boston for that reason because guess who's the world champions? The Boston Celtics. They are going to say, we're at home. Everybody's saying you're the team to beat Cleveland. We're still the team to beat. They are going to play it. Mike went Boston as well. Has to be Boston on this one.
Gee, I love it. A Fleetwood Mac reference.
Thunder only happens when it rains. Yes!
Thunder only
happens when it's raining. Oh, yeah. James going with the Celts. Cavs. What is going on in this world right now? Kenny went with the Cavs. I'm
a little worried about my pick now.
I think Kenny.
Not really, but
Kenny definitely is hitting the stuff hard today because no way.
You never know what's in these cups.
You never know. All right, Ron. 11-16. You got the Winnipeg Jets at the Florida Panthers. NHL action. 2 very good teams. Listen, Winnipeg just lost their first home game a road game of the season last night. But I'm still going Winnipeg here. I think they are the team to beat this year, and they're going to want to take something to the world champion. So I went Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean, I would like Winnipeg to win this game, but Florida is still the world champions. I'm going to give them the credit at home, and I'm going Florida.
It's going to be a good game, though.
If I keep picking the ones you pick, I'm not going to catch up.
I got you, but I'm just saying. I mean, you got to pick who you think's winning.
Yeah,
I think it's Florida. Then you go Florida. Winnipeg Jets. Mike went Florida. Benny and the Jets.
When does Kenny ever pick the Jets in anything? I'm feeling confident right now.
Yeah, Kenny. I mean,
he's going with your teams.
James went Jets as well.
Winnipeg's a good team. They're a good team.
Very good team. Also in the NHL tomorrow,
a hell of a goaltender.
Dallas Stars at the Minnesota Wild. This is for second place. Both of these teams. Toronto Raptors.
I'm going Dallas. After what I saw,
I don't think Danny knows how we play this game. We got to teach Danny how to play this game. We give the game, you pick the winner, not you give us the games. But okay. All right. So you
gotta pick these. Come on, Danny.
11-16 Dallas Stars at the Minnesota Wild, Ron. Who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going Dallas Stars in this. They're good. They're really good.
Minnesota, not nothing to shake a feather at, but I went Dallas as well. I like the goaltending. I like Ottinger. Just Kenny went wild. Kenny's going wild.
Kenny goes wild.
James went. Mike went.
Come on, Danny, pick this game. Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild.
Who do you have? Danny went Dallas.
Danny's on the board.
Danny and Mike will be on the next week's prediction chart. So tune in next week to see how you did. That's the key. NFL action, Ron. This Sunday, the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody would say that this is going to be insane. What a game. I think it's going to be a blowout. And I think the Ravens are going to just destroy the Steelers because the Steelers have been playing too many close games. I think the Ravens have more talent. I went the Baltimore Ravens here.
Yeah, I went Baltimore too. I think this is going to show everyone where this division is heading. And Baltimore is not giving it up yet.
Danny went Ravens. James went Ravens. James, I think, tried to put something up there that was a bird. There it is. It's a little Twitter bird. Oh, boy.
Come on, Kenny.
Kenny, who do you have? Ravens at Pittsburgh. Mike. Ravens at Steelers. Who's your pick? This game we are doing to get prizes for it. Didn't he really want some prizes?
You know what? I'll do something. I'll give out a trading card for whoever does the best this week out of the four that are giving the picks.
Mike went Pittsburgh. Kenny went Ravens. All right. Also, this Sunday, Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. Ron, who do you have?
I'm going Buffalo. Butker out. I'm going Buffalo.
Edgar Allan Poe on this one. Yes. I went Kansas City, and I went Kansas City because Buffalo's got some injuries. Kincaid out, their tight end. There's also Amari Cooper still might be out. Mike went Buffalo. James went Buffalo because everybody hates the Chiefs, so they want them to lose. Danny went Ravens. We got that one. Chiefs. Okay, Danny went Chiefs. Kenny, put the cup down for a second. Kenny, every week. Kansas City Chiefs. Kenny went Kansas City. All right. That was a split. But that was a good one. All right. Got some college football going on here. Number 7, Tennessee Volunteers at number 12, Georgia Bulldogs. This is going to have some big implications when it comes to the playoffs. And Georgia, to me, needs this game more at home. They need to prove that they're still one of the best teams in the nation. I went Georgia here.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee. I am going Tennessee. I think they're the higher seed. You can't look. I think Georgia is starting to fade.
And Dallas, Georgia fans, by the way. James went Georgia as well.
Dallas,
Mike went Georgia. Danny went Georgia. Look at the little bulldog. I think that's a poodle, by the way.
Wait, Danny's taking a broadcasting class?
Nice. Sports broadcasting class as well, too. Kenny went Tennessee. All right, Ron. I'm gonna skip one and then go back because I think that's the big one. So let's go with tomorrow, Rhode Island Football Club at Charleston Battery. This is for the championship. So the Rhode Island Football Club.
No,
it is not.
No. It is the conference final.
Conference finals. Okay.
The winner goes to the championship.
So Rhode Island Football Club won last week. We had them on. We've had
they beat the number 1 seed.
We've had a lot of time spent with them, and they've done some interviews with us as well. So who do you have? Rhode Island Football Club at Charleston Battery.
I'm going with Rhode Island. Williams is fantastic, and he is proving to be a big-time player at the right time, and that is the postseason. And this will be amazing if they do it, because this is their inaugural season.
Danny went Rhode Island. Listen, this Rhode Island Football Club, fun team to watch.
Yes, they got a shutout last week.
Yeah, in the postseason, 3-0, right? Mike went Rhode Island Football Club. James went Rhode Island Football Club. Kenny went, so that's clean sweep. We all think Rhode Island's got this. Come on, guys, don't let us down. We'd love to have one of you on afterwards.
Yeah, we'll get them on after the postseason.
All right, and then the big one tonight, Ron. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Mike Tyson. I think he can do it. He looks good. I think he's going to be able to actually do it.
As much as I hated it, I went Jake Paul. And I think Tyson's 58 and he's done. He quit so many times at the end. Danny went Tyson. Kenny went Mike. Jake Paul. James.
See, James, I don't think Tyson can go the distance.
And Mike went with
Tyson by decision. Yeah, I don't think he can go that far.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. This is going to be a good fight. Don't tune in to that tonight because we'll definitely be talking about that probably next week as well. But, yep, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul tonight. That'll be an exciting matchup. That was our prediction segment. So, Danny and Mike, join us next week because you see how you do on your predictions. See how you stacked up next week. That's really cool. Thanks for joining. Oh, look at that. We've received 100 messages today on Restream chat. Awesome. We got a little trophy. Eric, what's in your cup? I can't. Look at the little bottle there, buddy. Little bottle. 2 rounds helps Tyson, though. It does help. Like I said, some of the rules do favor Tyson.
Not
all right.
The one with the gloves.
Ron, we are towards the end of our show. But before we get in, thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Before we get
Tyson 3 times.
Yes. Before we finish our show off, first off, let's get that Hall of Fame up real quick again. Go to Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page. if you are live right now or joining us afterwards, and vote, cast your vote to help us elect our next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame for Major League Baseball right now. Reggie Jackson, Dave Parker, Dave Winfield, Ken Griffey Sr., and Roberto Clemente are on the board. Help one of them get into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, as well as for auto racing, Darrell Waltrip, AJ Foyt, Bobby Rahal, Elaine Prost, or Terry Labonte. You guys can help get the next inductee in. These are voted by the fans, and that's who votes these players in and these athletes in. So take some time, Sports Unfolded Sports Bowl page on Facebook for your opportunity to help one of them get into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Ron, as well, we'd love to tell all the wonderful people out there how they can become a sponsor of Sports Unfolded.
Well, it's very simple, Eric. All you have to do is send an email, not that email, to Rhode Island ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you all the information that you need, but it's quite simple. It costs you less than going to your local coffee shop and getting a peppermint coffee.
Boo.
Soon to come, I'm sure, to your local establishment.
Pumpkin.
Why is that a boo?
Pumpkin. They got rid of it already. But go ahead.
Right. So I'm advancing to the next. Peppermint.
Ugh.
And of course, you can still get that cinnamon roll that you want at any of those establishments. So it costs less than getting those two items just to sponsor and get thousands of eyes and ears, because we got a surprise coming next week. I don't wanna count chickens before they hatch, but
we may be expanding.
I mean, it's all but a sure thing.
Yeah, we may be expanding. So, Ron, let us say, if you are on social media, which I know you all are, follow us on all our social media platforms. That tick has been running, gives you all the opportunities: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. We are on everything. Great opportunity. We also every week give our rankings. So right now the NFL and NBA are out. Opportunity coming soon for the NHL. So we're excited about that as well. Want to thank everybody, Dallas, Georgia, 99.1 WDJY, for putting us on every Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m., as well as SEC TV, Public Access, Channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut on every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. If you're listening or joining those platforms, check us out every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. We are fan interactive. We've had a great time tonight with everybody that joined us. Danny, Mike, James, Kenny, you guys have been amazing. Thank you as always. Tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the best morning show on the internet, going on daily with Kenny. Hopefully he has less in his cup than he did tonight. And that is on Saturday at 9 a.m.
about Tyson and
yeah, I'm sure you guys will be as well. Ron, we are now time. It is now time for our final thoughts. And our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It can be about anything going on in the world today. I am first today. So I wanted to talk about one Mr. Deion Sanders. So Deion Sanders to me was one of those guys that I loved as an athlete. Dual athlete, baseball, football, one of the best cornerbacks to ever do it in the NFL. But sometimes our fans, our players let us down. And he has done that now with this story that came out that he will intervene during the NFL draft if his son doesn't go to the team he feels he should go to. And it's a shame that instead of being worried about training his kid how to become an NFL player and what it's going to take, his concern is which team he goes to. Deion, big mistake. Think about being a father first and not this promoter. You are not promoting your son. Your son is going to play in the National Football League. Let the team that picks him pick him and don't intervene. I was disappointed to hear that because I really felt like here we go again. Maybe he tries to get him to a team that he possibly could go to coach, and we're going to have coach son thing going on, like the NBA with LeBron and his son and all these. Like, just stop. Just stop and let your kid be a kid and let him get drafted and don't get involved. It's disappointed to hear that from Deion Sanders. that was my final thought, Ron.
Yeah, my final thought, it was very, very good one, because that is real, with interference from egos, right? But it's time now for the next class of the WNBA Hall of Fame, right? That is happening, and Sue Bird is up to go in. And if she's not a unanimous decision to go in, then there's something wrong. I mean, she was the first face, of the league. Her and Swoops, right? When you think about WNBA, those two got it really started. And if Sue Bird is not unanimous, then voters should be ashamed of themselves. And I think it's time that we here at Sports Unfolded get a vote. We should get a vote. So I think it would be great if we did, because I think out of anybody out there in the sports world, there is nobody that is more objective than us. We don't care who you are not safe from criticism. And believe me, there's a lot of people that deserve a lot of criticism out there, and people are afraid to do it. We're not. Give us the vote. Give us a vote.
Thank you, Ron. Well said. WNBA's, growing, and we're going to grow with it. We love it. So again, tune in next week, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded. It has been a pleasure tonight to talk to each and every one of you. We look forward to doing it again next Friday night. Tell your friends about it. Like, share, follow our show. Can't wait. We're continuing to grow. Big news coming up soon for Sports Unfolded. Another market possibly that we will be inheriting. We're looking forward to that as well. But again, join us anytime. Like, share, follow our show. We appreciate all the support. Go and vote. Cast your votes for that Hall of Fame, and tune in next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all we ever ask for every single show is that we get peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.